So today I'm going to show you how to actually leverage the law of least effort in order to attract women more easily. And it's not about doing nothing, it's about doing less while achieving more. So think about a guy like James Bond. He's confident, he's cool, he walks into a room, he owns the room, women give him attention without him even trying. And it's not like he's stressing over his next move or trying to force anything. You see, what I found is that most guys think that they need to work harder in order to attract women. Like most guys obsess over the perfect opening line, or they send a ton of text messages, or they want to have the perfect routine of what to say and all of that. But the reality is, a lot of that doesn't even matter. That's not how attraction works. The more you chase, the less she's actually going to want you. And I first learned about this concept of the law of least effort back in high school. I remember I was looking up to some older guys in my high school who were crushing it with girls, who were dressing well, who were good at school. And I was trying to analyze them and how they were operating back in the day. What made them successful? What made them popular, etc. And it's not that they were doing necessarily more. Is that they were doing kind of less things, but those things were a lot more impactful, and so they were getting more out of everything in return. So for example, instead of speaking more, they were actually speaking less than the girl, and they were listening more, and instead what they were doing is they were asking women open-ended questions that would allow women to open up to them more and to invest emotionally, psychologically, etc. And they were just lean back, ask open-ended questions, let the woman invest, and it appears like the woman is doing all the work while they were just sitting and listening. And that made them appear as, more in control of things, right? It could be slight things like that, but even on a surface level, even on social media, they would, for example, because they were organizing some of these parties, they would post stories of them with girls and stuff like that, and that would get them a lot of pre-selection and social proof, and that would in return attract more women to them, right? And so there's a lot of mechanisms that they were putting in place like that, whether consciously or unconsciously, where they were doing less but actually getting more in return than some other guys who was trying a bit too hard. Now let's get into how you can actually apply the law of least effort to maximize your results in every single interaction. Number one, you have to take care of your first impression. Your first impression is everything. Most people tend to generalize other people, and they use that as a shortcut to just, filter people, like most people would rather make an image of you and be right about you from the get-go than trying to change the initial image they had of you. So if they had an initial image that you were shy, you're not dressing well, you're not really taking care of yourself, then it's going to be very hard for them to revert to an image of you that is the opposite of that, like confident, dressing well, all of that. So whatever image you want to convey, make sure that it is conveyed within the first few seconds of meeting you. So that means you have to dress on point every single time. That means you have to smile and be well-spoken and have a great voice projection from the get-go. That means having the right body language, the right, posture from the get-go. And all of that matters, right? So that's the first thing you need to do, is maximize your first impression. And as I said, that could be your style, your grooming, your posture. Women want a man that can command attention without even trying. And that's the key. You're not trying to impress her. You're just impressing upon her who you are by how you speak, how you talk, your energy, how you walk into the room, your style, etc. Right? Let your actions speak louder than your words. Let your behaviors actually show her who you are. Now, number two is you actually want to talk less, but you want to say more. Now, you want to leverage the power of silences. Silences are super powerful. If you feel the need to fill every single moment of silence with words, then that means that you're not very comfortable with tension. And you have to remember that tension is actually the thing that is going to make the interaction more sexually charged. And if you show that you're not very comfortable with that, you're not comfortable with pauses and silences and eye contact and all of that, then she's going to feel like yeah, this guy is not really comfortable with himself and he just wants to fill the void with meaningless chatter instead of letting the tension arise. And this is what I've noticed. Like, this is purely a tension battle in most cases. When you lose that tension battle, then you automatically start to fall into her frame. So you want to be good at tension battles like that. And the best way to do that is just to sometimes look at her, smile, and have a good eye contact, and then maybe go for a kiss or something. But be good with the tension. Now, this is not just me saying that. Like, if you read the book, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, one of the, I think it was the fourth law or something, he says, always say less than necessary. Because the more you say, the more common you appear, and the more you have a chance to say some bullshit, which is going to make you appear less mysterious and less in control of things. And what he says in the book is that powerful people intimidate and impress by actually saying less. And the more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. So shut your mouth and talk less. I know it's funny, right? But like, shut your mouth for real sometimes and let the tension arise, right? Just let the tension arise. Be good. Be good with the pauses, silence, eye contact, and then touch her more, kiss, whatever. But be good with that. Very important. And this ties in to becoming a great listener. If you can just listen to her, listen to what she says, ask open-ended questions that kind of feed back the loop of what she says, then you're going to be able to continue the conversation as long as it gets, right? Because you're always building up on what she tells you. And because you're a great listener, you can pick up on the things she says and come up with questions, come up with follow-up statements that link up to what she says, right? So it's important to have that, because if you're not a good listener, if you're always in your head trying to think about the next thing you're going to say, then it's going to be hard to really sustain the conversation and you're going to be in your head the whole time. Instead, get out of your head, get into her head, and just be listening, say less, make her say more, be good with silences, be a bit mysterious, don't reveal everything about yourself. And you'll see that this is actually going to allow you to attract her while doing less, actually. And listen, women want to feel like they have to work for something. And if you're the one doing the work, if you're the one, hustling your ass and grinding the conversation out and all of that, and you're not letting her invest in the conversation and do the work as well, then you're actually not giving her the joy and the pleasure of, getting attracted to you and investing in the conversation. Give her some space to invest. That's very, very important. If you're the one making all the investments, if you're the one doing everything for her and just robbing her of that sense of investment, then you're not going to make the conversation super attractive to her. You want her to be talking more. You want to be doing less. You want her to be qualifying herself more, whereas you're the one making her qualify. You want her to kind of sell herself to you, while you're the one kind of buying her in a way, like trying to see if she fits your life, right? So what I would say is, instead of focusing on getting her, focus on vetting her. That's very important. Instead of being the screened, you want to be the screener. You want to be the one who actually gets to know her to see if she fits, right? That's the frame. You're not bought in yet. You don't know yet if she fits your life, but you're willing to find out, right? And that's the best frame you can have. It's not like, oh, I hope she likes me. I hope, I get her. No, I hope I like her. I hope she's not going to be some crazy bitch. I hope, I'm going to get to like her, right? That's really the frame you should come from. Now, same thing for texting, by the way. The same principles that apply in real life apply to texting. When it comes to texting, I'm not chit-chatting all day with her. I purely use texting to exchange information or to just follow up for a date. And I just build basic rapport and then I follow up for a date. I mainly use texting for logistics, right? So it's not just to chit-chat all day. Texting should be very focused on just meeting up in real life, right? It shouldn't be to talk for days on end without anything coming out of it, right? So a lot of guys also make that mistake. They overinvest via text. they talk too much, they just wait too long before asking her out. All these type of bullshit is actually hindering your success. And you're actually doing a lot more than the guy like me who invests less and you're getting less in return. The girls aren't actually going to date you. They're going to flake on you. They're going to suck up your time and energy because you're going to keep texting them and trying to chit chat and trying to be this entertainer. But myself, I'm just focusing on my business. And then I text them sometimes same day to arrange a date. And then they come at my place and we have sex same day. Whereas you're texting her for weeks, investing, trying to be a constant source of entertainment for her until you get the balls to ask her out after 3 weeks of texting. So do less, fuck more. That's a good phrase. Like actions, not reactions. Do less, fuck more. That's it. And just to come back to saying less and all that, what you need to understand as well is that 7% of communication is through your words, but the actual rest, the 93% that remains, comes from your body language, your tonality, your voice, facial expressions, all of that. So actually, what you don't say matters a lot more than what you say. And so a lot of guys, they do less on a surface level because they say less, but they do a lot more with their body language, with their eye contact, with their tonality and all of that. And all of that does the work for them so that they can speak less, but actually have a ton more impact than the guy who doesn't really have his body language and all of that on point, but who's trying to compensate with words or, some fancy thing to say. And that's very important to understand. Now, at the core of all this is a mindset shift. Instead of asking yourself, how can I make her like me? You want to ask yourself, how can I make this interaction fun for both of us? How can I make it win-win? It's not, I hope she likes me. It's not, I hope I say the right thing. None of that bullshit. Just stay present, focus on yourself, be grounded, and maximize the things we said, your first impression, your body language, all of that, your life in general. And when you have all your shit together on point, you have a strong purpose, you have a clarity on who you are and who you want to become, you have strong opinions that you stand for, you maximize your first impression, you have a certain aura about you. You don't come from this subservient frame. You come from a frame where, you're already good and you're just seeing if she fits your life. All of that compounds. And with all that, you actually end up doing a lot less than most guys and getting 10, 50 times more results.